Hi, boys and girls. I am so excited because you all get to be scientists. So last week during Earth Day, I talked to you about what plants need to grow. And we talked about how they need sunshine, water, and soil. Well, you all are going to try to grow a plant without using soil, but you will still need sunshine and water. So to update you on my plant that I was growing last week, and this was only 4 days ago that I planted these seeds, I left it in the sunshine, and look at how tall my plants have grown. Isn't that exciting? And that is what you will get to see when you are growing your own plants. So I sent home an envelope to all of you, and if you haven't gotten it yet, that's okay. I'm showing you all this video so that you will have the instructions and know how to do this experiment when you do get the envelope. So in this envelope, you will see a few items. One of these items is a letter, and this letter is in English and in Spanish, and this letter is to you and your families, and there's also very important directions on this letter. So we have steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And these steps will show you how to grow your own lima bean plant. So I'm going to go over these steps with you so that you will know how to do them together. And we'll all be doing this experiment together. I will have my own, you will all have your own, and Mrs. Mikalski will have her own as well. So besides the letter, you will also have a baggie with a paper towel in it, and you will have 4 beans. Here is what one looks like, but you will have 4 of them. So the first step that you will need to do, step 1, it says, soak the lima beans in cold water for 1 night. So for that step, you need to take your lima beans, your 4 lima beans, put them in a bowl. So you have them in a bowl, and then you need to put cold water in it. So I'm not going to do that now, but you would pour cold water in it, and you'll let them sit in that water for 1 night. So maybe before you go to bed, you'll put your beans in a bowl with water, and then you'll go to sleep, and then the next day you'll wake up and you'll be ready for step 2. Step 2 says, the next day, open the baggie and use water to soak the paper towel. Make sure the whole paper towel is wet. And then it says you might need to dump out some of the water. The baggie is stapled at the bottom so the beans do not sit in water. So you'll see when you get your baggie, this baggie is already stapled all the way at the bottom. And I know that looks a little interesting, but like I said, that's so your beans don't sit in water. So let's take a look at this together. So that first thing it says to do, you need to take water and your baggie and you need to pour the water over your paper towel. So you could do this at a sink, or you could do it the way I'm doing it with a cup. I just don't have my sink in front of me right now. So I'm going to pour my water all over the baggie, or the paper towel. And I'm going to make sure it's all wet. So now I have all my water in my baggie, and then it says you might need to dump out some of that water. And you do, because you don't want the water in the baggie, you just want the paper towel to be wet. So now I'm going to dump out the rest of the water. And now my paper towel is all wet in my baggie. So now I'm ready to go. Let's take a look at step 3. Step 3 says, make sure the paper towel is flat. So I'm going to do that first. Is my paper towel flat? Yes. Then it says, hold up the bag and spread out the beans evenly at the bottom. So like I said, you'll have 4 beans. But once you soak them overnight, they're going to look a little bit different. So this was our beans before we soaked them. They're like that. And then after you soak your beans, they should be bigger. They should look something like this. Look how much bigger that bean is than the other one. And that's because it already soaked up some of the water. It already started to germinate, which is the scientific word for it starting to grow and get ready to sprout. So, like I said, your beans should be bigger after soaking overnight. And you might also see that it's starting to take off some of its shell, which is a good thing. So now you're going to take your beans that you soaked overnight, your 4 beans, and you're going to spread them out evenly on the bottom. So I'm going to put one here, one here, one here, and one here. And I might need to spread them out just a little bit more, and I'm just using my fingers to move them over a little bit. And do we see how the staples helped us? So we still see some water on the bottom. That's okay, that's a good thing because it'll help the paper towel stay wet. But our staples are saved, they're like a seat or a chair for our beans because now they're not sitting at the bottom with that water. So let's move on to step 4. Step 4 says, close the baggie by zipping the top. Leave a small section unclosed so that the lima bean can still get air because it is important that these lima beans are able to breathe so that they can grow. So I'm going to take my baggie, I'm going to make sure these blue, you see blue and red lines are lined up. I can start to zip it by pressing them together. I'm going to zip it all the way closed, all the way. I'm now about halfway. Now I'm going to keep zipping, and now I've stopped right about here. So as you can see, it's all the way closed, but I still have a hole open. And that's important so our lima beans can get air. So now that we're done with that step, let's see where we're at. Step 5. Tape the baggie on a glass window or put it in a very sunny place. Make sure the beans are facing inside so you can see them. So now I need some tape. Or, like I said, you have 2 options. I could even put it right on this table if I wanted to. See how I have a window right here? I could put it right on my table here and make sure my beans are facing up, and that way they'll be in the sun. Or if you have tape and you have a window, then you can use your window to tape up the baggie. Make sure you ask mom or dad before you do this because you want to make sure it's okay with them before you tape something up on a window. But I already asked my mom, so I am going to open my window. And then I'm going to, this is my side that's open still, that has that hole where the lima beans can breathe. So I'm going to tape it where it's already closed up on my window. Now my lima beans are all ready to start growing. That sunshine is going to shine through every day and help them start growing. And we can still see some of that water is in the bag, and that will give them water to grow. So our lima bean experiment, we will be looking at our growth over the next couple of weeks. Some of your lima beans might grow and some of them might not, but it's going to be very exciting to see them start. Keep a lookout in the next couple of days. I'm going to be reading you some books about how plants grow. I have the 2 books. The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle, I will be reading to you. And also, Seed to Plant, a National Geographic Kids book. So these 2 books I will read and I will post them on our classroom for us to read together. And we'll learn more about what plants need to grow. So I'm so excited to see all of your plants start to grow. They're going to get super tall and big, and I can't wait to see all of your faces on Seesaw and Flipgrid. So if you have any questions, please let me know. You can ask me on Google Classroom or on Seesaw. And again, I can't wait to see all of your plants. See you soon, boys and girls!